Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about how R. Kelly has officially been sentenced to 30 years in jail for his crimes against his alleged victims. Now, this has been a long time coming. I have done so many videos on the R. Kelly situation to the point to where I got tired of hearing R. Kelly's name, the victim's name, and everybody's name that I just took a complete break from even covering it all together because not only was it um a lot with the stories, but it came with a lot as well. So now that he has been sentenced, I am going to go live, talk to you guys, give you guys some recaps on some of my previous coverage because I did some big interviews around this case and when everything was unfolding, talking to his group members, talking to his road manager, talking to, just different people getting updates, beefs, okay? Like literal beefs came like I believe like was my first beefs on YouTube behind this. I feel like it's so like I done got doxxed behind this story. It just been a lot. Okay. So we're gonna go on over a few things, bring you guys up to speed on the goings ons that's goings ons. Yes, it's not over. He still has to go and face his situation in Chicago. So he still has a case in Chicago that he still has to go and fight as well. And that is going to be set for August. So he got sentenced to 30 years in the New York case, but he still has to go to Chicago for the Chicago case, and that is set in August. So we're going to go on over some things, and I'm going to allow you guys to come up. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in a second. But first, I'm going to give you guys a highlight of what he said when this first hit the fan. So when all of this stuff first hit the fan and they first started to go and do the documentary and pull out, these victims and things like that, R. Kelly felt as though it was too late to try to come after him. He said it's too late. They should have did it 30 years ago. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to talk about this 30-year sentence, and then I'm going to give you guys some recaps and everything like that. So this video right here is, like I said, when it first started hitting the fan, right? Everything first started hitting the fan, and R. Kelly just felt like, people was trying it, and they should have been trying to go after him. So I'm going to play this, and then we're going to go forward.
A million motherfuckers hating me, 40 billion motherfuckers loving me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna take this musical shit and I'm gonna inject these motherfuckers with this musical, beautiful motherfucking shit.
No, don't do that. I can't afford no more kids.
No. I am handcuffed like a lot of you motherfuckers. I'm handcuffed by my destiny. It's too late. They should have did this shit 30 years ago. It's too late. The music has been injected into the world. Okay? I hired my motherfucking self.
All right. So that's just a quick snippet of that. And that is what he said when stuff first started to surface and stuff first started to hit the fan. He felt like it was too late for people to be trying to come after him and things like that. Well, on the course of this coverage, a lot of it had to do with the Aaliyah case. So a lot of the stuff that came up in the trial that he just got convicted of 30 years, it had to do with Aaliyah. So I'm going to read to you guys a little bit of that, and then I'm going to give you guys a recap of the interview that I did with his road manager. And then we're going to jump into some of the interview that I did with Public Announcement as well. And then we're going to go from there. So let me pull it up. All right, so on this webpage, as you see right here, it says a large chunk of testimony focused on the infamous scandal involving Aaliyah. It says one of the final witnesses described seeing Kelly, getting hanky panky going on with Aaliyah around 1993 when she was alleged to be 13 or 14 years old. The former backup performer told a jury that Kelly, he messed with her as well when she was 15, and in another series of accusers who said that he also exploited them when they were underage as well. So the jury heard evidence about a fraudulent marriage scheme hatched to protect Kelly after he feared he had impregnated Aaliyah. A marriage license that was put into evidence falsely listed her age at 18 when he was 27 at the time. Aaliyah, whose full name is Aaliyah Dana Houghton, worked with Kelly, who wrote and produced her 1994 debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. She died in a plane crash when she was 22. Okay. And this was a large chunk of the testimony of how they came to know about his involvement with Aaliyah, this marriage thing and everything like that. And I was able to speak to one of the road managers who was in charge of facilitating this whole marriage license and this whole wedding thing. And he was there at the, essence of it. And I'm going to give you guys a recap of that. And then I'm going to fill you guys in on more of what was behind him being sentenced to 30 years. So let me get that off the screen and pull up this interview that I did with his road manager. If you guys are watching this video, make sure to like the video and share. Whenever I do R. Kelly videos, another reason why I stopped doing videos on R. Kelly is because, child, all of the drama, the doxing and all that, it wasn't worth it because I wasn't getting, none of my videos was getting monetized for it. So y'all already know, if y'all ever want to donate, that's welcome. But let me pull up this interview. So I did an interview with his road manager and he briefly spoke about the Aaliyah situation. So let me pull that up.
Sense. It tells about pretty much everything that's going on with him right now. It was a book that I wrote in prison because after I left him and Aaliyah, I went to prison.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that later, okay. But for now, just let us know what happened with the whole Aaliyah situation.
Aaliyah's situation is very emotional for me.
Okay.
I truly always like to just say apologize, and I can't apologize enough for my part in that. I can't apologize, and I can't talk about it long. I can't. I can only say what I did. I did not forge any documents. When I drove, I took them, and they followed me in another car, actually. See, when Lifetime was talking to me, they were throwing words at me, and I had to learn now how to take my time to talk. Because they were throwing, I was trying to explain it as I am now, and they were throwing words at me. And they threw that word at me forged because to some extent it was a bit, I assisted in something that I should not have been a part of. So I ate that word forge. But I did not forge him, and I spit it back out. But I drove and they followed me to a place where she got an ID to get a marriage license. Okay. And
wait. Okay, so you're saying that they drove following behind you.
They're following behind me.
To a place. So what you're saying is you guys got, or she got, a fake ID? Is that what you're saying?
She got it was a real ID, but it was from, downtown. It was a legitimate ID from a work source, say a FedEx place, and then the other place was a county building or something. She got legitimate IDs to go get a marriage license.
So it wasn't like a government ID, it was like a work ID?
It's government ID and a work ID.
And you're saying that it wasn't. I mean, if it had her name with a different age, that would make it a fake ID, right?
It's a fake ID, but it was a real ID. It was a government. It was, you know, it's now. I'm not gonna. It was years ago.
No, I understand.
There's no excuse for it. But I took them down to a government official place, and somebody there took some money, and they took an ID for her. Okay. And it was, you know, and it's like you go into the county, it's like you go get a driver's license, and I know somebody in there, and I'll take you in there, and they'll give you a driver's license. You ain't got to take no test. You just give them some money. And that's what happened with that, and that got her marriage license. And nobody forged anything. It's their signatures.
Okay, so the only thing that you're saying that your role was just, you were just there when she got the fake ID, or the real ID, but the fake, whatever, however we're going to describe the ID.
I took them to a place where she got an ID that got her a marriage license. Okay,
but you didn't forge the marriage license documents. No. That was all Aaliyah and him who put.
Yes, their signatures. Yes, their signatures.
Okay, so now I get what. Okay, so a lot of people, and I know that you don't want to stay on this long, and we'll move past this, but a lot of people, they blame R. Kelly for the role that he had in this, and they also blame the people who helped assist his behavior, taking him to go to places to help him get this license or whatever. Do you feel like you are just as accountable as R. Kelly in that situation?
I feel like I'm the main fault. I feel like all this is my fault. I live with it every day. And I apologize, and I prayed on it, and it's something that is rocked my world in a way of I'm sorry, and I just what else can I do? It's done. I did not. I was younger myself, and I was numb. I was numb when it first happened. I was numb, and I didn't think. Robert worked you like a dog when you're out there working with him, and I was his tour manager and personal assistant. I didn't get rest. So I was working. I probably had been up for 3-4 days when he told me when I was walking him to the stage, and he told me what he told me. He said, "Man, we got to get back to Chicago." And I wanted to call Aaliyah's uncle. I wanted to call Barry, and that's what I should have did. But I had been with Robert for 7 years, and I had just met Barry and Aaliyah. And so I wanted to hear what he had to say before I made a call. And then when we got to the
loyalty basically was with R. Kelly at that
time. Yes. Correct. Yes. And then not to take sides, because wrong was wrong. You know, that was the wrong thing. That was the wrong decision I made.
All right. So that is a quick snippet of my conversation with Demetrius. And Demetrius is a person who also testified in this case. So when there came time for him to give his part, the state, they basically gave him immunity deal. So in an immunity deal, he was able to then elaborate on his involvement to basically save his own behind as well, because a lot of people felt like there was a lot of involvement with the people that was around R. Kelly. They felt like the road managers, such as Demetrius, the people that was, you know, assistants and publicists and workers, and all of these people, they felt like had involvement. And one of the key people who was involved in the facilitating of this marriage between Aaliyah and R. Kelly, as you see, was Demetrius. Now, in an immunity deal, he got on the stand and he testified in this situation, and he testified that he had went down to the welfare office and he basically bribed one of the workers so that they could facilitate an ID for Aaliyah. Let me pull up that article for you guys, and we'll read some of it for you. So let me pull it up so that we can go on over that. And I'm going to just be going through the different things that I see. So right here is an article basically outlining his testimony in this case. So on this post, let me make this a little bit smaller. All right, so boom, right there. So it says, R. Kelly's former tour manager on Friday said he bribed a worker at a public aid office to get false identification, saying that the late singer Aaliyah was of age so she could marry R&B star R. Kelly. Testifying under a grant of immunity from later prosecution, Demetrius Smith, who worked for Kelly more than a decade in the 1980s and the 1990s, said he paid a worker $500 to secure the then 15-year-old Aaliyah Houghton a fake ID used shortly thereafter to wed Kelly, who was then 27. He said in testimony, I went to the welfare office and I walked in and I said, hey, want to make some money? Smith, now 65, said during the dramatic afternoon at a Brooklyn courthouse where Kelly is on trial for his crimes in the racketeering case. So it says Smith told the jury that Kelly and his associates hatched the wedding plan because Aaliyah had said that she was pregnant. Okay. He believed marriage could stop her from testifying against him if criminal charges were ever filed over his relationship with the teenager. It was to protect himself, to protect Aaliyah, Smith said. He testified that he and Kelly left his tour and flew back to Chicago for the whirlwind 1994 marriage, which later was annulled. Smith said he had urged the star not to marry Aaliyah, then Kelly's protege, with whom he forged a playful and flirtatious relationship with, according to witnesses. I said he couldn't marry her and she was too young, Smith said, adding that the singer's associates were encouraging the union as a solution. He asked me whose side I was on. Smith said, I feared that he feared that I was getting ready to be pushed out of the loop of Kelly's career, so I wanted to make it happen. The witness grew exasperated several times during the questioning, which will continue, I guess, at a later date. He says, I'm truly uncomfortable. We're continuously talking about Aaliyah. Her parents aren't here. Aaliyah's, whose debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, Kelly produced, died in a plane crash when she was 22. And so this is part of the testimony that he gave in the trial that just now got him a whopping 30 years in prison. So in addition to that, there was a lot of witness statements. So there was a lot of statements from several people who had gotten into relationships with him. There was statements from two men who claimed that they were taken advantage of, you know, doing hanky-panky with him and things like that in order to try to secure some type of career. In addition to the men who had came forward and claimed that they were taken advantage of, there was several of the women that you've seen on the docuseries from Surviving R. Kelly who came on there saying that they were promised a career. They did, you know, these acts for him, and their lives are in shambles because they wanted to secure a career. So they were doing these acts. Okay. So I'm going to read to you guys some of those statements as well. And then I'm going to eventually bring you guys up and we're going to talk about it some more. So we're going to first go to the guy who testified. So it was a man who testified, and he said that he was only 17 when he started to get involved with R. Kelly. And he said that he was trying to do whatever he had to do in order to be a person to have this musical career. So, hold on, wrong. Okay. So this right here, it says, this man testified that he was exploited as a teenager. And it says, let me go to what he said. Taking a stand in a federal court in Brooklyn without using his real name, the witness told a jury how Kelly lured him to his Chicago area home in 2007 with offers of helping his music career. Kelly asked the alleged victim, then 17, what he was willing to do for music. The witness said, "I'll carry your bags. I'll do whatever I need. I'm willing to do anything." Okay. So he then testified that then I guess R. Kelly asked him if he ever fantasized about being with men. He said that R. Kelly then crawled down on his knees and gave him the sloppy toppy 3000. Okay. He says that even though he wasn't into it, R. Kelly gave him the guap guap down on his knees. And then he said he told him to keep the situation between him and R. Kelly. Okay. He then said that there was other times where R. Kelly basically, had rendezvous with him as well with other women. So they would get into these, three-way rendezvous, and R. Kelly would have him be a part of it. He said that he really wanted to make it in the music industry, so that's why he was doing these things. He said that what else did he say? It says early on Monday. All right, so then I think this is a different person where they said that he took her and her friend to a dressing room where he pulled down her shorts and forced her to have, a hanky-panky with him. Okay, this is a different person. So then there was also testimony from the victims. So like I said, the women who you've seen in the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, they also gave impact statements in his sentencing testimony. So Lizette Martinez is one of the women who gave a impactful statement to the jury, and she says that she was just 17 when she met him, hoping to have a musical singing career. Okay. She described what she endured while with him. She said 2 months after they met, and she said that she still is suffering from these consequences of her involvement with him to this day. She says, "I am now 45, a mother, and I struggle with mental health." Okay. She said, "Robert, you destroyed so many people's lives." There was another person by the name of Addie who was tearful or trying to fight back the tears while she was on the stand. And she basically described meeting him at a concert where she says that, at the concert, he proceeded to do, hanky panky with her. She said, "I never knew that going to that concert in September of 1994 was going to change me forever." Then there was a woman by the name of Angela who also spoke out, and she described him as the Pied Piper. And she said that he preyed on children using his fame and wealth. "With every addition of a new victim, you grew in wickedness. You used your fame and power to groom and coach underage boys and girls for your own, gratification." Okay. She also said that she's trying to, reclaim her identity. Okay. "We are no longer the preyed upon individuals we once were." Okay. Then there was another woman by the name of Faith, and I believe Faith is the Faith Rogers. Is that Faith Rogers, the girl in Texas? She said she spoke with her father at her side, and she said, "I hope you forgive yourself. I forgive myself," she said to Kelly. Her father comforted her as she broke down in tears, and then he spoke to the singer directly. "I didn't come here to bash Mr. Kelly," he said. "I do want to ask you, Mr. Kelly, to look at me man to man, father to father, and put yourself in my shoes." And it says that R. Kelly showed no reaction and did not look at him. So that's part of some of the statements that was given to secure this 30-year prison sentence. Now, I'm going to read some of the before I read some more of it, let's see. One Okay, and it says that his former wife, Andrea Kelly, she also was a part of the accusers. She said that she feared that he might, you know, unalive her and that he was going to off her or whatever. And so basically he was charged with 21 counts of making these videos, okay, as well. And it says that hold up. Okay, and then they're saying that this all stemmed from the surviving R. Kelly, like I said. And it says that he faces further legal trouble in federal court in Chicago. So he is charged in Chicago with enticement of a minor, possession of, you know, these child images, and obstruction of justice. So that is set for August. Now, let me see what else. I wanted to also highlight the interview that I did with a Public Announcement. So I'll play a little bit of the interview that I did with Public Announcement, and then, or wait, before, yeah, I'll play a little bit of the interview with Public Announcement. Hold on. And then I'll hear from you guys in a second. So let me pull that up and press play.
Everybody's like telling half truth. They're not telling the truth. So Andrea was a dancer. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't really interact with her. But at the end of the day, she knew. That's what I'll say. She knew how it was going.
Do you believe any of it?
Do I believe it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe wholeheartedly that whatever it is that he's done and or doing, he's no different than any other person on this planet that has done it. Because I know, and I've got one person in particular.
Earl quit because he was on the tour bus one day, I guess sleep or whatever he said, and he heard something happening in the back of the bus, and he kind of, I think he said he heard duct tape or something going over the vent. It's a vent at the bottom of the tour bus door.
Okay, so at what point of your interaction with R. Kelly was the assassination attempt that you talk about in the docuseries trailer? What happened? What the deal was, and everything like that?
The short of it is,
this gets extremely juicy, so I want you guys to grab some popcorn. I want you guys to sit back and grab your... I want to know how this happened,
Hey.
It seemed one-sided, but for me, I like to hear all sides. I want to know what led up to it. I want to know how this happened, and how that happened. So I'm happy to have somebody like Public Announcement, who was there, be able to shed light on the situation and give their truth. And we can all get down to the nitty-gritty of this together. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you guys two of the members of Public Announcement, and they are Rick and Dre, and there they are on the screen, you guys. So give them a warm welcome. Hello, Dre. Hello, Rick. Thank you guys for doing the interview with me. Hey. I really appreciate it.
Hey.
So for those of you guys,
how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Y'all, they already had me laughing already off of camera, and now we about to go live and get to the nitty gritty of it. I done got so many laughs, and I'm sorry, but we gonna enjoy this interview together with my audience. So for some of you guys who don't know, R. Kelly had this group that was associated with him called Public Announcement. I'm going to show you guys their photo. That is them right there with R. Kelly.
A great welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for R. Kelly and Public Announcement.
Where the crawdads sang is about.
Child, not me not having YouTube Premium.
I don't think we really even understood what was really happening because we were so young.
Give it up for R. Kelly and
It got to the point where everything was a competition. That was a big mistake because we didn't quite understand the whole thing of paper. We were so happy to be there, man.
That there had been an assassination put out on dude, and I was used as a guinea pig, and that let me know I was expendable.
Rick is here, and he's going to clear that up about what happened with the assassination attempt and everything like that. So without further ado, I want to start off with you guys letting the people know how it is that you met R. Kelly. And I guess I'll start with Dre.
We would
do an impromptu.
Uncomfortable, you know, and it was already done. We were already in it. So we didn't really, being that young, we didn't really want to make no waves because we was truly, truly happy to be there. So we was like, well, let's just do this. You know what I'm saying? We was getting a check. You know what I'm saying? So the check was cool, and we were out there. So that's all we really cared about. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and just the fact to put out what we originally planned on, which was just doing good music. You know, we never got the opportunity to do that.
In your docuseries trailer, Earl was on there, and after you guys talked about the assassination attempt, then Earl talks about how he's seen R. Kelly in the back of the bus, and you know, like, y'all don't know what he's doing back there, blah blah. And the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, Javante also talks about him in the back of the bus, but she says that he was in the back of the bus with Aaliyah. Is this the same incident with Aaliyah that Earl seen, or is this something else that he saw?
That's basically why I left the group, because I just felt that was sick. It was something that I couldn't believe. And I ran out the tour bus and I grabbed Dre. And I pulled him to the side. And I was letting him know, like, man, you know what dude's doing in the back? He was like, man, what? I'm like,
Earl quit because he was on the tour bus one day, I guess sleep or whatever he said, and he heard something happening in the back of the bus, and he kind of, I think he said he heard duct tape or something going over the vent. It's a vent at the bottom of the tour bus door.
Okay.
And he peeped through that and back there doing whatever he was doing. And then he came and got me. He said, hey man, you know what dude doing back there? I'm like, what? And then he told me, and then he was like, I'm out. And he left.
I just felt that was sick.
He seen R. Kelly back there doing something. So you said that according to him, he was duct taping the vent off. So what is it that he actually saw, and who did he see him with?
He said he saw him messing around with Aaliyah.
So Earl said he seen him in the back with Aaliyah. And this was, do you know if this was before the marriage, after the marriage?
This I believe was before.
So from Earl seeing him messing with Aaliyah, he decided that he didn't want to deal with it. Like he wanted to be out of the group. So he quit. So then you guys,
no, he really just left.
He was done.
Yeah, he was done. He left.
Oh, okay. So as far as R. Kelly and the girls, did you see, because you said you didn't see the incident with him and Aaliyah, but you were there. Were you there when he was recording with Aaliyah? Like, did you interact like their relation? Like, did you see their interaction as far as relationship wise and everything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I saw that, but it was always somebody there. Either Barry Hankerson was there or a brother was there. You know, certain things that happen between them or between anybody that everybody is a legend, you know, these young girls, I was never there to see that. He made sure of that. He made sure I was never around to see anything inappropriate, none of that. I never saw none of that. Now, was it girls around? Of course. Come on, man. You know it's girls around.
Mm-hmm.
But never nobody that I would actually look at and say, this might be odd.
So,
I never
so when he was dealing with Aaliyah, you didn't think that it was odd because Aaliyah's uncle Barry was around and her brother was around and other family members were around. So you didn't think that their interaction was odd to you. What about?
Right, it was impossible to even put that up in my brain because her uncle was there and her brother. So why would I even think that this man, this grown man, is going to mess with this child in front of the uncle and the brother? I couldn't have put it together. It was impossible.
So when Earl told you that he seen him messing with Aaliyah, then did you see anything after that? Like what happened after that?
Well, after that, you know, it wasn't like she came out on the road with us all the time. She just happened to be there then. And then I'm saying to myself, well, he don't really mess with you like that, Earl. So how do I know you even telling the truth?
Oh, okay. So you thought that Earl could have been lying because they weren't at odds.
Yeah, because I didn't see it with my own eyes. So I'm like, is he telling the truth or is he mad because Rob ain't treating him 100?
Mm-hmm. So you thought he just was saying something and it probably just was another rumor.
No, I mean, I didn't know if it was or not, but it didn't give me enough oomph to say something is going on. I'm out of here too. I mean, I didn't feel like that.
Right. So you felt like you can't trust exactly what he's saying because he could have malice in his intentions on telling you that just to get you to leave with him. You didn't want to mess up your situation with R. Kelly. So you're like, I didn't see it. I don't see nothing strange. I see her family around, so I don't think nothing of it. Pretty much that's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Earl left, and you know, Rob actually said to me, he said, why did he leave because of that? I mean, it don't affect his check. So I was like, well, I don't know. So he was like, well, because he left, I'm gonna pay you the same thing I was paying him plus what I'm paying you. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was cool with that, whatever. And, you know, and then, you know, me and Rick was still there, but things were still like kind of crazy. And then, you know, I want to let Rick explain the rest of this, but he kind of got fed up with what was going on. And then he left.
Okay. All right. So after that, Rick starts to talk and he gives his accounts. And then in addition to that, they bring up R. Kelly's wife, Andrea. So in the midst of having a conversation, they talk about how they feel like she knew about the girls, she knew about the relationships. She wasn't this victim that she was portraying to be. And it was just a very thorough interview of me just talking about a lot of the involvement that they had. After I did the interview with them about what they seen and everything like that, then R. Kelly's one of the prosecutors who ended up being shady himself, Avenatti, he ended up being shady his damn self and having all kind of shady business his damn self. But he then said that he was going to go after all of the enablers. So he said that anybody who was complicit around, standing idly by, that they were going to go after all of the enablers. So I then did another video with the group member from Public Announcement, Rick. And then I also did an interview where I got a live reaction from his road manager as well. This was before they testify or before the road manager testified. And I wanted to know how they felt about people feeling like the enablers was also or should also be charged as well. So I'm going to play a little bit of that video for you guys. And then after that, I'm going to play a snippet of the video that I did with his most current manager, or the guy who was saying that he was his manager at the time of his arrest. So he ended up getting arrested as well. And so I'm going to play a little bit of that in a second, but I'm going to play a snippet of their reaction to when Avenatti said that he was also going to go after, you know, people who were involved as well. So let me pull up that video for you guys. All right, let me take myself off the screen.
I want to send a message to the enablers of Mr. Kelly, to the agents and the managers and the attorneys and the others who stood idly by and looked the other way and turned a blind eye while teenage girls were sexually assaulted for over 2 decades. I will not rest until each of you is brought to justice. We will uncover evidence relating to your participation in these crimes. Mr. Kelly did not do this alone. He did so with the assistance of all of these folks. And it was all, let's be clear, in the interest of money. These people, these agents, these attorneys, and these managers, they looked the other way while these young girls were taken advantage of instead of doing the right thing because they didn't want to kill the golden goose. They didn't want to interfere with their own individual paydays. And as far as I'm concerned, they are just as guilty as the predator, R. Kelly.
Hey, what?
And what they believe in, what they're doing. And we need to be led. We need to be guided.
So you mean like public opinion? Is that what you're saying?
Public opinion, yeah. Public opinion, the people who are running the laws, the people who are doing the crimes, everybody needs this help. It's not just a chosen few, it's everybody. Mm-hmm. Because the corruption doesn't start or stop with one person. It can fester into anything.
On the videotape. This video was turned over again to Ms. Fox and others in her office earlier this month within days of our recovery of the tape. I want to send a message to the enablers of Mr. Kelly, to the agents and the managers and the attorneys and the others who stood idly by and looked the other way and turned a blind eye while teenage girls were sexually assaulted for over 2 decades. I will not rest until each of you is brought to justice. We will uncover evidence relating to your participation in these crimes. Mr. Kelly did not do this alone. He did so with the assistance of all of these folks. And it was all, let's be clear, in the interest of money. These people, these agents, these attorneys, and these managers, they looked the other way while these young girls were taken advantage of instead of doing the right thing because they didn't want to kill the golden goose. They didn't want to interfere with their own individual paydays. And as far as I'm concerned, they are just as guilty as the predator, R. Kelly. It is disgusting. And every parent in America should be disgusted not only by the conduct of Mr. Kelly, but by those that turned a blind eye, that looked the other way while this occurred for over 2 decades.
Okay, so that is what he has to say. So what do you have to say in response to his statement as far as, you know, the managers, the people who he felt turned a blind eye, how he's going to be coming after the enablers?
You know, it's sad. It's just sad. It's sad. I don't feel that I was an enabler. So it worries me none. To me, it was a new thing. To me, it was, something that just was unfamiliar with. However, at the same time, I gave notice of what my thoughts were. And I didn't think that my artist, that Robert, at the same time understood. Well, I can't make up excuses, and for I'm not trying to for anyone that bothers a little girl. I'm just gonna tell you that I don't have any sympathy in that respect. And as far as him talking about other enablers, I kind of feel like if Rob goes down, they should too, because in my time was the beginning, and it was something that we saw different than a lot of people see. it was the beginning of something. And again, as he said, it was about money. I wrote my book 9 years ago, and it was just to give you a vision of the character of a person.
Well, I think, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. When he says that it was about money, I think what he's saying is that people turned a blind eye for the sake of money. Like, not to say that, you know, like whatever, you know, the book that you put out about him after the fact, I don't think he's talking about that. I think he's talking about while the people were employed, they looked the other way and allowed things to happen.
Well, I agree with him that, you know, Robert did not fly anyone in. I know Robert didn't pick up the phone and make a reservation for anyone. And I know that if you fly a minor anywhere, they have to have their birth date there. And I know when I used to book flights, not book them, I always had a travel agent, and I would tell her. And the travel agent is aware of, but that's not their vision to say who's he flying in. They just fly him in. Now the person that's doing this for him, they know. They know what's going on, and
those are the people you.
Those are the ones that should be held. And I'm angry that what he was just telling to me was hurtful, and I was angry at it because those are not the right people to be around them. I mean, I was in the beginning of it, it just was different right then. And
all right. So that's a snippet of my talking to Demetrius. And as you see, he says that the people who facilitated plane tickets and did all those things deserve to go to jail. But he feels like because he was in the beginning, he isn't an enabler, even though he took his behind down to bribe a welfare worker to make an ID for Aaliyah, and he bribed people to facilitate a fraudulent marriage, but yet he believes that other people should be accountable. But, you know, they needed his testimony and they gave him immunity in the New York case. So he is not going to be charged for it because he was able to get an immunity deal. I'm not sure if he has the same immunity deal when it comes to Chicago's case, but we shall see. Now let me pull up the interview that I did with Don Russell. So I also talked to Don Russell, and when R. Kelly was first arrested and he first went down, Don Russell was basically side by side with him, and he was facilitating things for R. Kelly at that time. He was, you know, helping him out and things like that. So I wanted to speak to him to get his side of things and how he felt about everything as well. Now, Don Russell ended up being caught up in the mix, and he ended up, I believe, being arrested for, I believe it was considered witness tampering. I think he was behind, if I'm not mistaken, burning Azriel's car. I think that was Don. It's been so much, I can't recall, but he ended up getting arrested for being in the mix as well and things like that. So I'm going to pull up the interview that I did with Don Russell. And then after that, I'm going to let you guys up.
Are you ready to bake?
All right. So, child, I don't got YouTube Premium. I'm cheap. How am a YouTuber without YouTube Premium, child? That means y'all should donate, child, because I can't afford it. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit the like button. Also, share the video. All jokes aside, share the video. If you do want to donate, you know that you always can donate via Cash App. Okay, because whenever I do commentary on you know, this subject, they be like, girl, you is not getting monetized. So it helps me out. when you guys support. And you don't have to support via Cash App. You can also support via my website as well. So my website is www.neekatnight.com. I have several goodies on there. I have adult goodies. I have pajamas. I have male. I got male pajamas as well. I got lingerie. I have a host of things, and I also have a sale going on as well. So if you go on over to my website, I have a summer sale going on, but you get 30% off of your total purchase if you put in the code HEAT. Now, in order to get the discount, you have to spend $75 or more. But once you get get you the rose, or what's the real kicker? Kitty lick. That is like, child, being an entrepreneur, you got to test your merchandise, okay? And one of the merchandise I done tested out was the kitty lick, and that's one of the favorites. So once you get kitty lick and you get you a couple pairs of pajamas, you're gonna be around the 75, ballpark. And then you put in your code HEAT, you get 30% off, and you can support me that way as well. Okay. Okay. Now, let's get back to this video. And again, I'm going to allow you guys to come up. Matter of fact, let me put the StreamYard link in the chat now so that you guys can get ready to come up while I'm playing this. Okay. The StreamYard link is in the chat. I'm going to still, play a little bit more of my interaction with the people around this case, but as soon as I'm done, I want to be able to immediately pull you guys up. So anybody who wants to speak about this, definitely hit the link now, because once I start answering callers, y'all know the queue gets filled up very quickly. So now, let me go on over to share with you guys a little bit of the video that I did with Don Russell. So let's play it. In the chat, hello, moderators. Hello, Neek at Night, Night Owls. We are live. I'm going to give it a couple minutes for people to come on.
The good old days, being in the subway and things that we were going to do one day. So, enterprises.
Did this happen before or after the documentary? So you guys start digging into, okay, so you guys started to dig into his finances, trying to figure out, where his money is, why he's not getting royalties. You guys started prying into these things. He gave you access into his, you said BMI portal?
His BMI portal and his BMI and his Sony portal.
Okay.
Sony owns RCA Records. So that's where, and the portal is where all of the copies of his contracts, his licensing deals, all that stuff sits in there. So we're talking hundreds of contracts over the years that Sony inherited when they bought him from Zomba, which was Jive Records. So all those contracts are sitting there, and that's where it's like an archive of all of his contracts. So when I specifically said, so Rob, how much of your publishing do you own? And I don't know. So we went in and we saw that he only owned 10% of his publishing because they had hawked off his publishing to pull in the money for his first.
Those of you guys who are just now coming in, this is Don Russell, and his role with R. Kelly was his manager / advisor. So he was advising R. Kelly as far as his business mistakes and on his money issues, and that's kind of what he's explaining right now. And he also had dealings with him further than that. So his role was R. Kelly's manager / advisor at the time of R. Kelly's arrest.
Trial. They borrowed $9 million, and they by the name of Daryl McDavid. And I'm like, Rob, why did you have to borrow against your publishing when you are doing all these shows? You got all this money coming in from, overseas records, royalties, and all that kind of. Why are you borrowing against your publishing? You should have enough money, to have paid for that trial and whatever else you needed, because what we started realizing was that he didn't own anything. I mean, they were renting his apartment, the studio, they were paying, they had took out put a mortgage on them when they didn't need to. Well, Rob owned 10%, so 90% of this publishing he did not own. Whichever one he chose, he could have it. You know what I mean? That's
all right. Let me skip through some of this.
Motive to do some of the things that are being done that's keeping him in prison right now. And the only way now, knowing, because once it got out, and I had to go on a couple of blog shows, and defend my own self, because you got people talking about I did this, I stole that, and all that crap. It's like, no, I'm not gonna, don't unearth me, because I will come out and say something. But that was a smear tactic to discredit me, so that, and I'm not saying, public opinion matters, it does, but to discredit me. So when I did finally speak out, it was like, don't listen to that guy. And I don't really care about that kind of stuff. People, whatever people say about me, because I know who I am as a person. But in the instance right now of Rob and his freedom, some of the research and intel that we gathered paints a totally different picture than what people are focused on. Everything right now that's in the media is smoke and mirrors. People are focused on, the girls and thinking that this got something to do with that, when it really doesn't. I mean, these young ladies are, the reason they are allowing that to happen, because they're keeping the folks that really, dishonored him hidden. They don't want, people like yourself who have who mobilized an entire infantry of R. Kelly supporters to go find out the dirt that the actual people who got him in this situation have committed. Because then when that starts to leak, that's their case. Their case is not Jahanda Pace. Their case is not Faith Rogers. Their case is not Kitty and all those folks. That's not the case. Robert beat that hands down. The case is this RICO, this trafficking, this criminal enterprise that they're trying to accuse him of. And it's like, okay, how do we sneak that in there? And why is that not being the topic of anything that's discussed on any of these block platforms? Because when the gauntlet comes down, they don't want their case to be tampered with a judge. They want to open and shut case, and they don't want him to have any type of defense. So my goal here lately, because Rob sent the message out, Don can change the narrative. You won't talk to me, and I've reached out to Greenberg and those guys on multiple occasions. They won't talk to me.
Why won't they talk to you?
Typically, I believe they're working for the other side, and I don't have anything nice to say about them. Me and Green, when Rob first caught the case, it was real simple. It was a smaller case. It was Jahanda Pace, Faith Rogers, and a few other folks, the girls. And Rob brought me in the studio with Greenberg, just the three of us. And he said, actually, it was another young lady in the studio as well. He said, Don, Greenberg is my choice. I want you to work with him. I said, okay, no problem. Same thing to Greenberg. He shook my hand, and Rob walked out, and he started talking about a fucking orgy or something that he was going to be having that weekend that he was missing out on because of this stuff with R. Kelly. I'm like, first of all, dude, that ain't.
You saying the lawyer? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a pig.
All right, let me skip through some of this.
Opportunities to move the needle forward.
Hello? I'm saying hello. Let me skip through some of it. But that video is live on my YouTube. You guys can watch the full thing. He talks about the women involved with R. Kelly and everything like that. If you want to join the stream, definitely click the link. So to join the stream and give your comments, you click the link and I will bring you guys up shortly after I play a little bit more. So let me just put that in there. If you guys have not hit the like button yet, definitely hit the like button as well. So let me put that in there and then let me play a little bit more. People. And I don't know if I can't really make it bigger, but I guess I'll just read it. So someone went on her page and they wanted to ask her what the reason was why she left R. Kelly. In her summary, she said, long story short, I left Rob because he was a liar and he was lying to Joy. Robert planned when and how he was going to let Joy go. If she was the one, she wouldn't have went 4 to 5 months without seeing him. I was the only person asked to see at visitation every time, not Joy. And the only reason why she is able to see him now is because I left. He didn't care for Joy, and I didn't like that. He was using her. And I told him that at my very last visitation to get rid of her if he didn't care. And his last words were, "We have to feed the tiger before the tiger bites us," not meaning me, but him. So Azriel wrote that on her Instagram. And I was going to put that in I'm still going to put that in a separate video, but I want to know your thoughts as to her saying that.
If she even wrote it, I doubt she wrote that. That sounds like something that someone wrote on her behalf, but that's not true. I mean, Rob, from my vantage point, and I've only been around him about a year, directly, about a year and a half. It's like you don't have to. When you know who you are and what you mean to someone, you don't have to revalidate that every day. Joycelyn was the one that constantly needed to be paid attention to. Not Joycelyn, Azriel, I'm sorry. Azriel was, not Joycelyn. I mean, Joycelyn already knew her position with Rob. So for her to say that, that's backwards. I mean, Azriel was always slipping away. She was always fighting. She was always pushing her weight around. And I did peep that on several occasions. But Joy didn't do that. She was more relaxed, calm, and laid back. So, and it was a lot of occasions where Joycelyn was the only one that was with Rob. I mean, they spent a lot of time together. And if you actually look at some of the women that Rob has dated in his past, she fits in that same, the ones that he cared about, not the ones that he's been with, the ones that he cared about. She fits within that same style. But you know, at this point, Azriel is tainted. Anybody who believes anything out of her mouth, you know, that's just like she's not with him. So why even listen to her? I mean, I don't, care to read anything. That's just like me reading something that Jim DeRogatis writes about R. Kelly. It's bogus.
Do you think that Azriel was? Well, I'm going to ask you this, and then I'll go back to Azriel. So someone sent in a super chat and said, "Will R. Kelly sue all that stole money from him?"
That's what we were planning to do, and that's why once again, when I talk about the people that are discrediting me and all that, is because they know we have the evidence on that. And that goes back, it's a laundry list, and I put the names out there. I've been threatened. I've been, whatever. I mean, at this point, I don't even give it crap anymore. It's like, whatever, say what you like, say what you may. It is what it is. Y'all stole from this man. You're going, whether you face your judgment, in this life or the next, God, your karma is real. So when you talk about Barry Hankerson, when you talk about Joan, Linda, Daryl McDavid, Wayne Williams, Artie, these guys have been ripping this man off for years. And what happened was we had to say, okay, who we gonna go after first? Do we go after Lifetime for infringing on his trademarks, or do we start putting lawsuits against everybody that's ripped them off for small money? So you got to realize you have to pick your battles. So to us, when we got to a point, you got to realize the same people that ripped them off, they weren't gonna sue themselves. It took somebody that came in and wasn't eating from me. I wasn't eating from R. Kelly, Rob. I never once did I met. Well, I'm sorry. When I started booking the shows, which only made sense, we took the 20% from booking those shows, but most of that money went to paying off people that was owed money, like his stage hands and things of that nature, his legal fees. So the money that came in for some of the shows, which was 20%, we took that and we reinvested into getting him out of some of the issues that he did have. But it was so many people that had stole from him. It was like I had never seen so much like anarchy and just it was disgusting to see that. I mean, people like your cousins and uncles and friends, and then about people not really knowing our history, because nobody knew about the subway thing. They know now probably because they're watching this. They didn't know how far back we went. So to them, the parents preferred it that way because they at least knew that the older guy could take care of the girl. I mean,
hit the like button, you guys.
So there's a serious backstory to the Lashana thing that that in the first case came out
in there, or what?
Proof of that, certain things that happened were staged to set him up, and we know who actually staged it. So, but what happened was back in those days, and that's why I made a reference. They did say this back when in those days, it wasn't iPhones, it wasn't the internet, it wasn't all these things that we have now. You couldn't go live. So Mike Tyson went to jail for what? Because he couldn't prove what happened in the room, and they took Robin Givens' word over his, and he ended up losing half his professional career because of that. There are a lot of celebrities who are targeted, and they lose their careers because of they can't prove what happened in the room. So Rob, basically was advised to record your sex sessions. Now, Rob being the guy that he is, he gonna say I'm recording this so I can have consent captured. No, he made it a porno. Shit, what woman don't want to be in a porno with R. Kelly? I mean, it's a lot of them that want to be in those things. So
was Rashonda one of the girls that was in there or whatever? Was there underage girls or whatever?
The story about Rashonda is so it's tragic. I mean, that was all a plant from the very fucking beginning. Sparkle, which is Stephanie Edwards, Rashonda's mom, and all those guys. That was a plant from the beginning. I mean, and Rashonda is not who everybody thinks she's not. That's not her parents. There's a story behind that. That's actually Sparkle's daughter, and Earl from Public Announcement, who was the group Rush.
Wait. You're saying that Rashonda Lamphere is Sparkle's daughter?
Well, when she went off and got her career as a musician, she had a child, and her family raised a child, and that was her sister and brother-in-law that raised a child, and that's Lashana.
Okay. It's
there. The evidence of that's there.
So you're saying that Rashonda is Sparkle's daughter. That's what you're saying, though, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so
there's a person, and a lot of folks have interviewed. Her name is Sharon Winbush. She was Rob's actual in-house nutritionist, and she spoke very eloquently about how they targeted Rob, how the whole Lashana thing was a setup, and just like a lot of these young girls, they fast. I mean, just think about it. When you was in high school, the freshman girl dating the varsity basketball player, you was the shit. I mean, the guy come pick you up in a car, you're a freshman, the shit. I mean, so back in those days and that age, that wasn't looked at as a bad thing for younger girls to date older guys. Matter of fact, some women and parents preferred it that way because they at least knew that the older guy could take care of the girl. I mean,
hit the like button, you guys.
So there's a serious backstory to the Lashana thing that that in the first case came out, and it's all part of the discovery when he went on the first trial that came out, which is why he was acquitted. He didn't get acquitted because those lawyers didn't do as thorough of a job at putting all this evidence out. Now, I've seen some of the discovery from the first case, and this is how I know a lot of these things. When Sam Adam Jackson and Gleason represented him.
So that was her on the tape?
Yeah, that was, was that Lashana on the tape?
Rashonda, yeah, was that her?
I mean, yeah, it looks like her. I mean, I wasn't in the room. I didn't hold the video camera, so I can't say for sure. I mean, right now, I could take your face and put it on that tape and say it was you. I mean, that's just how technology works. So I didn't film that. I mean, based on the discovery and how he won the case, they painted a different picture. And the picture was that wasn't him in the tape. So if it wasn't him in the tape, how do we know that it was her in the tape? So I'm not going to go down that path with arguing that because I didn't really do a thorough investigation into it. I glanced at some of the discovery and I'm like, okay, well, they did a good job of defending this. All they need is this paperwork again. And if her parents said it wasn't her parents said it wasn't her, then they should be on trial too because they lied under oath, period.
Okay, because there was allegations that she was like putting money on his book. She was like one of his current girlfriends, still in communication with him. And then you had people who say that she was talking to the feds now and she's a part of this new case and she's talking, like, which part of that is true?
I don't know the daily activity of who's talking. It's Homeland Security, which is part of the federal bureaucracy, but Homeland Security is who's bringing these charges up against Rob. He's not under investigation by the FBI at all. So whether she's talking, of course, they're going to try to get her to say something because they're building the case. Whether she's going to participate, I don't know. I haven't seen the judge put a blanket over the federal judge put a blanket over the case so nobody's able to talk about the potential witnesses. But if her name is being mentioned, chances are she's not a major part to their case. Because the names that are not being mentioned, the ones that handled his career, is who people need to be focused in on. And a lot of people don't know those names because they don't know who his managers, his accountants, is. I've never stolen anything from anybody. I have my own money, plenty of it. I don't need to steal. So that
know who she was.
I had got her arrested. I apologized to her because I didn't know that was your wife. But
Wait, hold up, wait. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this before it disappears, and then we're gonna get into that. So you can fit. Okay, so someone said, I asked, would it be different if Don had an underage daughter being raped by R. Kelly? Minors can't consent to sex with adults, so legally that's rape. That's what DP Johnson said.
It's a stupid question. Rob would not rape my underage daughter. Rob's been around my son, and they had the best relationship, period. I got pictures of them together, hanging out, chilling, whatever. Rob has goddaughters and all. He's a human being. Stop saying that stuff. He didn't rape anybody. You were not in the room. So stop making it seem as if you were in the room when you actually witnessed this happen. We are going off some very evil people in media that want to bring down him because of who he is as a person. He controls a lot of numbers. He makes babies with his music. It's a whole bunch of things. If that were your son being attacked, you probably look at this thing different. So why don't you reverse the question and say, if R. Kelly was your son, or you had a son that was the king of R&B and he was being attacked towards him, and security grabbed him, and everybody, a couple of ladies on stage, he's not. Hold
on, wait, pause. Don't put anybody. All right. So this is the interview. It was a 2-hour long interview. I was trying to get to the part where he talked about the parents. Now, in this interview, he ends up talking about the parents, and he says that, I believe in this interview, he talks about, was it Azriel's mom? One of the parents was also dating R. Kelly as well, he said, and it was a whole thing. I don't know what the timestamp is, so I don't want to sit. I should have got all the timestamps beforehand, but child, it'd be a lot. So anyways, so in a recent interview, now Tasha K is sitting down with R. Kelly's brother. Now, in the midst of him being convicted, I guess his brother did an interview with Tasha K, and he is now saying that he lied on his brother. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and then I'm going to get you guys that are backstage. So Kiki, L, I'm going to get you guys in just a second. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull you guys up. But let me pull up this this new interview that Tasha K did with R. Kelly's brother, where he's saying that he lied on R. Kelly and basically just went with the flow of what people were saying. All right, let me pull this up. Hold on. All right. So let me move this over a little bit. All right, there we go. So it says in the headline, it says, R. Kelly's brother admits that he lied on R. Kelly multiple times throughout his scandal. He says that he was angry, so he mixed the rumors with truth. I was basically repeating things that I heard other people saying. So this is what R. Kelly's brother is saying to Tasha K. So let me play a little bit of this.
What does that have to do with the fact that your brother was having consistent relations with underage women? How do you tie the two together?
Well, again, like I said, I wasn't, first of all, I wasn't there when that was happening. When I actually said the things that I had said, I was at a bad place in my life. Okay. And I was angry at my brother. I basically was only repeating stuff that I heard other people say. I'm just being 100. I'm being 100.
Not on all of it?
I wouldn't say, it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, because as far as controlling, I felt like he was controlling to a certain degree when it came to certain things. I felt like that.
So all the stuff about your sister and her molesting you.
All right. So you can see a snippet of that on the Neighborhood Talk, where he basically says that he was just mixing truth with lies and saying how he just was repeating stuff that he heard, okay, as it pertains to the scandal and things like that with his brother.
Her molesting you and your brother. Was that true or false?
That was the truth.
Okay. What about the tape that you found? That you said you had came in possession of two white girls that R. Kelly had your brother.
Oops.
Her molesting you and your brother. Was that
did truly happen? But I was angry, and I was hurt as well, and I was immature, and I went about it the wrong way, being immature, and that's the result that I ended up with. That did truly happen, but I was angry, and I was.
All right. So now I'm gonna pull you guys up. Kiki Leo. Hello. Kiki Leo, unmute your mic. You there? Going once, going twice. All right. Maybe I'll come back to you. L. Unmute your mic. If you want to be on camera, just put a thumbs up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, if you want to be on camera, put a thumbs up. If not, I'll just do the audio.
Okay, you can just do the audio.
Okay. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm glad that the sentencing has finally taken place so that this long drawn out process can be done and, said with. I think the reality is that he may have, I'm not going to say may, he definitely, messed with underage girls. We weren't there. I'm going to say I wasn't there. I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm pretty sure that was something he did that he shouldn't have done. And I think that justice should be served for those girls or those families, but we don't know, I think that the other individuals should be also punished for it, but who's to say who those individuals are? I mean, that's a long list of people to wean out, and I feel like once you get in that, it's like a barrel of crabs, and I feel like you continue to find more and more and more of individuals involved, to be honest with you, but he is the main person, the main character here, so I just feel like he should be punished as he has now gotten his sentencing, and all the other individuals, if there is evidence or some type of investigations towards those individuals, then punish them as well. If not, then just let it be and dead this entire story. Because I must say that I am a true Robert fan. I don't listen to his music no more, but I am a fan, or I was a fan, or I am a fan. I just don't listen to his music more. I just can't see myself doing that. To each their own. But I do believe he did give us some of the greatest music, and I don't think truly many can argue that. But I'm kind of grateful again, as I've already said, and it's kind of redundant, but that he has gotten his sentencing and it's over with. Maybe he'll give us some great music from prison.
Thank you so much, Elle.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, let me try to go back to Kiki Leo. Are you there? Kiki Leo, are you there? Unmute your mic. All right, I guess you're not there. All right, Kiana.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Neek. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing good. Just got off of work, so I'm chilling. But what I wanted to basically say is, now I'm not a super fan of R. Kelly. Like I'm pretty young. I'm only 25. So like I wasn't around when like his music was booming like that. But I remember hearing stuff about him like when I was in 5th grade on the radio about him peeing on the girl in the video and all that. And back then I was thinking like WTF. So like just the fact that this is so long and drawn out, I'm just finally glad that some semblance of justice like has come into fruition, because if I can be honest, the Black community has a serious problem with protecting predatory Black men at the expense of Black women and girls, and I'm so tired of it. It's like you can't even go, what if that was your daughter or sister or cousin anymore? Because honestly, some of these people don't care, and it's just like really upsetting. People are like, oh, well, you weren't there. Rarely is anyone there when like SA is occurring or like the R word or anything like that. So it's like that's not even an excuse. It's like I'm sure people are lying and embellishing like some aspects of it, but it doesn't even matter. If you have proof of one, then it's like not a debate. And people are like, oh, 30 years, people will get more, you get less than that for murdering somebody. I'm just like, why does it matter? He's a predator. He like abuses minors. Like, why are you upset he's getting 30 years? It just never made any sense to me.
All right. Somebody said, I can't believe 30 years. I think these rappers will get 15 to 18 at most, if that, but he got 30 years as a legend and bigger star status with no murders. So that is what
And yeah, that's the thing. People are just so caught up in being a fan of his music. Like, who cares? Like, yes, you can say he's like he contributed some of the greatest music ever, but like, why is that even relevant when it's like at the expense of him abusing minors, especially Aaliyah? It's like people talk all the time about how much they loved Aaliyah and all this stuff, and it's like here you are also trying to defend her abuser.
What do you think about what Lawanda says? Lawanda, click the link and come up. Lawanda says that it was no minors. So I'm interested to hear from you're getting pushback in the comments. Lawanda said there was no minors. So
But wasn't it? Didn't it say Aaliyah was a minor when he tried to forge the marriage certificate? Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
Erica. I want Lawanda to click the link and she could respond to you as far as her outlook. Just hold on a second. I'm having fingers crossed that she'll come on. Don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Prince.
Hello, how you doing, Neek, at night? This is my first time like calling in, but I have been tuning in for a very long time.
What's your
I just want to say that this is long overdue, but it's exhausting because it took so much to get R. Kelly where he is now, facing like 30 years in prison. And mind you, he still has 2 more trials. Actually, he has like 3 more trials, 2 in Chicago and 1 in Minnesota. Yeah, but it's long overdue.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just had decided to call in. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm tired.
I am sorry. I kind of stuttered, but but it's my first time though. It's my first time. Like, it's my first time, but I've been like tuning in for a while, off and on.
So thank you for calling in then.
Thank you so much.
All right. Courtney?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
So yeah, people keep talking about, oh, but he abused minors. Isn't he in trouble for minors? None of his charges are related to any underage activity. He's in trouble for the Mann Act, trafficking, and racketeering. No minors, everyone in the group. No minors.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
his charge.
cut in. Even if the charges aren't for minors, it's like
So
at
what
least
you're
he's going to
saying
jail
is,
for
even
something.
though you're not guilty of the crime, you should be punished anyway because of some rumors.
No, he's getting punished for what he's getting punished for. But if there was a chance that he was abusing minors, and I truly believe he was, then whatever, he's going to jail, point blank, period. Like, even if the charges aren't for minors, it's like, it's karma in a way still. Like, yeah, you may not have caught him on like the ped stuff, but he's still going to jail. So
yeah, unfortunately,
it's
that's not how the
still
law
a win.
works. So,
girl,
yeah,
I'm familiar with the justice
there's no
system. I'm
need to
just
even
saying,
talk about my.
as long as he's going to jail and he can't hurt anybody else at the end of the day, I'm happy. So you can argue like semantics, and I get what you're saying. I understand that. But at the end of the day, he's going somewhere where he can't hurt any more girls or women. So I'm happy.
All right. Courtney, did you want to respond? All right, we're going to go to Cherry. Cherry, hello.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I don't know. I think that for the most part, for both sides, I get it. People like to bring up the fact that he's a Black man and white people do worse, but I think we have to look at the bigger picture. He not only, even if the girls were of age, and we have to also take accountability for the parents. Everybody played a part in this, but he knew it was wrong when he had sex with that 12-year-old girl. That's just the bottom line. R. Kelly is not innocent. 30 years is what it is, but as a community, we need to stop sugarcoating the things that happen. This is not the first time Black people defend Black men, and they abuse little girls all the time in these households, and everybody turns a blind eye. It's the same situation. Everybody wants to keep turning a blind eye when he did something wrong.
Yeah,
right.
it's crazy. It really. I'm like reading the comments, and like people are like just still defending him. It's crazy.
Back sideways. Why do you keep putting it like that, Fila?
I'm trying to twist it.
Put it back sideways, like you had it. Go ahead, you guys.
I'm trying to twist it.
Oh, I don't know. It's not working sideways now. I don't know. But go ahead, Fila. Twist it back however you had it.
No, we good.
Go ahead, Fila.
What I wanted to say is just like,
Playing in the back.
R. Kelly, he had a lot of these suspicions going into this trial. You know what I'm talking about? And what I wanted to say is just like, R. Kelly, he had a lot of these suspicions. Hey, y'all forgive me, man. I just came in the house. I had a busy day today, but I'm trying to jump in this conversation because R. Kelly got sentenced. What I want to say about this issue is I was listening to a lot of the ladies speak from like a lady's perspective, and it's about right. You know what I mean? He already had these allegations, of messing with underage girls. I felt like God gave him a chance back in the day, when all this stuff was kind of hyped up, and then he kind of died down. But I think he just didn't take heed to it, and maybe he just kept living his life in the type of way he was living it. And now what we kind of see is we're seeing his punishment for the way that he was doing things. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I look at it like this. I feel that we as a people, I understand what the ladies are saying, and we got to take care of the Black women. I get it. Trust me. But I just think we as a people, man, we got to stop taking the victim, mind state, and woe is me, the Black man, woe is me, the Black lady, because we actually queens and kings. And when brothers step out of line or sisters step out of line and they get disciplined, by a higher authority, whether it's God's or man's law, sometimes we got to accept that. We can't stand there and say, oh, they picking on the brothers, they picking on us again. I don't think so. I think it was a situation where R. Kelly probably thought that his situation was contained inside his house. And he thought everybody that was participating with him outside and inside his house was kind of like up under his spell. And for whatever reason, we can speculate all day, but somebody blew the whistle, and then somebody else blew the whistle. And then it became common knowledge, not only to us, but to the court system, that he was doing some illegal things. And so he went to court just like anybody, like I would go, like Neek would go, and they rendered, how they felt about it. And the judge rendered his verdict today, 30 years. And, if you're going to play the game, man, you got to know the rules to the game. And sometimes when you tap out, you can't cry about it. And us as a Black, as a culture, as a people, We got to stop playing that victimization and, you know, oh, they taking out all the black artists and rappers and R&B artists. No.
What do you think about the people who look at some of the women who came forward as people who was there for the ride? As long as they could get the perks, they were okay. But when the perks left, then they're traumatized. What do you think about that?
Well, see, this is the game that we play. When I say we, because I play a certain game, he was playing a certain game. That's the rules of the game. It might be 2 or 3. It might be 1 that really got a case. But he's playing the game at such a high level that when he gets exposed for one, you're going to have people coming out the woodworks. And I know he's sitting in his cell saying, you know, I did that, but I didn't do that. And he probably telling the truth. He probably right. But that's just the game you play, man. You know, when you're a celebrity, you know, when you're a public figure, or even if you ain't a public figure, but you just have some type of stature, whether it be in the church, the financial world, whatever it is, right? You playing on a different level, man. You playing a bigger game to where the littlest thing that exposes you is going to turn into a big deal. And you got to know that when you make the decisions you make, and when you say to yourself, this is the way I'm gonna play the game, you got to understand that, okay, if I play it a certain way, it's going to be certain ramifications. And when it fall apart, you got to know, hey, I was doing what I was doing. They might have threw a bunch of extras on it, but I know I did 1 or 2 of them, or I did 1 of them. I know I wasn't living right. And you got to accept that for what it is. It come with the game.
All right.
So
I'm gonna bring hold on 1 second. I'm gonna bring someone else on, and then I'm gonna let you continue to talk. Sky.
Hi, hold on 1 second. Let me I'm going to yes, hi Nick and Knight. I'm so glad that you allow me to be up here because this is pathetic. I'm hearing these people talking. You all know absolutely nothing about his actual case. Everything I've heard people say are allegations and things that they have heard from 20 and 30 years ago, but nothing about the case. They're talking about who's 12. Who is 12 in the New York case? You know, people are sitting up here saying things that are not relevant. If you follow the case, you will know that the women lied about their age. Okay, for one. So if R. Kelly wanted to date a young girl, why did the women lie about their age? 2, in the situation for the star witness, her parents, who knew she was 17 at the time, pushed her into the relationship with Kels and told her to lie about her age, and she did lie about her age. She was 17. He asked her, was she 18? She said yes. The parents knew she was 17 and pushed her into the relationship, and there's text messages to prove it. I mean, if people need to stop with the what you think and what you heard 30 years ago and pay attention to the case. R. Kelly was charged with racketeering. When have you heard of an R&B singer charged with racketeering? Racketeering, the Mann Act, bribery, and sexual abuse of a minor, sexual exploitation of a minor. Okay? That's why he got 30 years. If it was such an issue and so egregious that they saying the issue about Aaliyah, why didn't they charge him at the time that it occurred? Think about it, people. In order for them to charge him now, that's why they put it in a RICO, because the statute of limitations was up. That's why they did that. So I'm saying, people, please stop it, because what you all have to understand.
What do you think about the Chicago case? Because from my knowledge, the Chicago case has to do with the videos that he had with Rashana Lamfair and some of the other girls who were alleged to be underage at the time. Now, in the clip that I showed of Don Russell, it showed where he agreed that he said that it was her, but then he tried to clean it up by saying, well, you could put anybody's face on it or whatever. What do you think about that? Because he still does have another case ahead of him.
Yes, he has multiple cases
of him with minors.
Okay, but look at this, Nick. Look how they got him. Okay, and this is what people need to be aware of, because this is now case law, and everybody's gonna be so shocked when they start coming after your sons. Okay, they started with the thought of minimum. Okay, but people still in their mind think that was a factual documentary. Okay, you can't tell anybody it wasn't. That was not a factual documentary. Then they were muting him. That's illegal. He had no charges only allegations, and they started muting him, okay, stopping his money. Then you got the Chicago State's attorney. I'm gonna answer your question too. Then you got the Chicago State's attorney went on TV and said, we need you to come forward. We need victims to come forward so we can prosecute him after the documentary. Okay, so it's like, do you see what's happening? Then he goes on Gayle King. They flipped that whole thing around and made him look like an aggressive man because he's crying out, showing his feelings, and he's fighting for his life. And people don't see this. And we can't even, it's so many things that happened in the New York trial that was egregious. You know, it's pitiful. But I'm answering your question. In regards to the upcoming Chicago case, he was acquitted of that in 2008. Okay. So now they're trying to bring it back. So we have to see.
The thing is that they had another case. So I mean another tape. So I think it was like the same day or the same week or something like that, but it was supposed to have been another version of the tape that he was acquitted of. It was another one.
Yeah, they're saying that in this upcoming trial there is 3 tapes and that she's supposed to testify. So I mean, we have to see. All I can say is at the time in 2008 he was acquitted of that, and that they never identified the age of the person that they say was Rashana. Okay.
Then there was also a tape with what's her name? Lisa? Was it Lisa?
I don't know who's on these tapes. I just know in this upcoming trial it's supposed to be like 3 tapes.
Right. No, but I'm saying you've been following it. Lisa Van Allen, I believe, she says that she did a threesome with Rashana, I guess, and allegedly that's one of the tapes. Am I correct in that?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the tapes because let me tell you, Nick, like it's really crazy because these women, like you said, and I'm so glad you said that, they pretty much were willing participants. Okay, they went along for the ride. Then all of a sudden, when they couldn't be his main woman or his wife, then everything got crazy. Because they at no time, remember, they were like, they were tied up, they were chained, they were made to pee in the bucket. Was any of that true? None of that was in this trial. None of that evidence came out of this trial. So it's just like, I just wish everybody would just see what's going on, you know. And it's sad, but you know, he got railroaded. He, you know, now he has Bojine, who was Bill Cosby's attorney. And hopefully she'll be able to win an appeal for him. But there's no reason. Like,
pause you. Cherry, you wanted to respond?
I have a question for you. You're telling me that R. Kelly is not a predator whatsoever.
How was he a predator when those women went after him?
Okay, question. I'm not saying we're not going to act like these parents didn't know. These girls, I've seen girls lie all the time about their age to grown men. That's not the issue here. R. Kelly knowingly had sex and married Aaliyah when she was a minor, 15. Are we not seeing the
wait?
Are we not recognizing this?
Wait. See
that we're not.
But see, this is the problem. You put that story together. When did you get any information about him having sex with her? The charge.
It was public.
Wait. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. In this trial, he was being tried with obstruction, not having sex with Aaliyah. Obstruction was the charge. I'm sorry. Bribery. Bribery was the charge. No, there was in no instance, even her mother even denies that she had sex with him. So please don't make stuff up. That's my whole point. People think that they know about this case and they don't.
She did not deny. She didn't deny that.
What do you think about
oh Lord.
About
I can't.
Or not Courtney, Sky, sorry. What do you think about Demetrius Smith's testimony? Because he said that the reason why they secured the marriage license was because Aaliyah was allegedly pregnant.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, Nick, where's the baby? Where's the DNA? Where's the abortion? Would a real Aaliyah baby please stand up? You see what I'm saying? Where's the placenta set? You see what I'm saying? Nick, they got so many things that they want to say, but in the trial, Nick, it never came out. You see what I'm saying? They never identified the baby. And actually, let me tell you, there was no pregnancy that came out not to be true. Okay, but I will tell you this. The charge for Aaliyah was bribery, and it never came. Okay, how should I put it? They never linked R. Kelly to knowing about the bribery. Okay, but I don't know why he married. They said he married her, and they went through the process, but the whole thing is messed up. But even if there was a marriage, people, there was no proof of sexual activity.
So you think that he just got married to a girl that he was dressing alike?
I can't.
Hey,
you
saw the number.
Okay, wait. Didn't you see the
You
interview?
mean to tell? So I mean, come on now. I understand you want to defend and all that, but are
I'm
you
gonna say this, Nick?
You don't think that
she denied it,
and he went out and married her, and they was dressing alike and all. You think that they ain't never did nothing?
Nick, I give you this. That would be the reasonable thought.
And shame the devil.
Okay,
Now,
I'm gonna just say this. That would be the reasonable thought.
Now, tell the truth. Now, tell the truth and shame.
Okay, that would be the reasonable thought. However, you saw her on the interview, right? She denied it. Her mother denied it. What y'all want me to do? I see what you're saying, because the natural thought pattern would be like, yeah, he had sex with her because he liked her. I mean, why else would he marry her? I'm with you on that. But when we look at what was presented, it was never proved in the case. And that's not what he was charged for. He was charged with bribery. Okay, that's what I'm saying. People think when her name came up in the trial, that it was for sexual abuse with a minor. That's not what it was for. I'm sorry. It's just not.
1 second. Go ahead, Kiana.
I'm just trying to catch people in their hypocrisy. So you're saying that the parents of the alleged minors would tell them to lie about their age, and then you're sitting here saying Aaliyah's mom denied her being married. So if Aaliyah's parents were in on it, don't you think they would lie to save their skin?
I can't tell you who's lying about what, and I'm not lying. If you could come to my channel. I have read the text. They have the text messages between the star witness, Azriel Clary, and her mother, where her mother is stating, "Oh, you better make sure you give him a massage tonight. Oh, my future what they call it, son-in-law is gonna be older than me."
Yeah, I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying you're saying that Aaliyah's mom denied the marriage.
No, I said she let me just put it like this. Her mother was not at the trial. Okay, neither was her brother, no family members. You see what I'm saying? So none of her family is not pursuing him. So it's so funny how the whole public is pursuing him and they weren't even there. If they felt that R. Kelly did something to their daughter, don't you think they would be there for his prosecution?
Not if they were in on it, like the other parents you were saying.
You're right. They could have been in on it. But what I'm not going to do is say that something happened that we don't have proof of. We can make allegations, you guys. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
It's always your sons. I don't ever hear anybody argue about, well, with your daughter. Like, you going really hard for this black male celebrity that probably don't give a damn about you. Like,
because this is what you don't understand. Okay, this is now case law, ma'am. Okay, so what they did to R. Kelly in regarding to railroading him, charging him with racketeering and the Mann Act is the same thing that's going to happen to other black men. R. Kelly is the poster child. People think this trial is about having sex with minors. No, it was an entire railroad. So that's the part that you aren't seeing. Nobody is seeing that.
But if he is a predator, who really cares?
I'm sorry, what?
If he's a predator, who cares?
But how was he a predator? Please explain to me how he's a predator when these women came to him. He didn't seek these women out. R. Kelly has millions of dollars. So you guys are trying to tell me that this guy who looks good, has money, has fame, that women aren't flocking on him? Is that what you want me to believe?
Not
I'm
if he's
sorry.
into
I'm sorry.
minors.
Can I just say?
You gotta pay
Can
for
I
that.
just
Pay
for
for
the
what
most
minor
part?
though?
Go ahead.
In all seriousness, like forget the celebrity. This is a problem. This continues to happen where we have people defending predators. Why? Like why? Why do you how do you not see that sex tape? Everybody knew that girl was a minor. She was in a kids group. He knew her age. Come on.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The niece, Sparkle's niece. He knew she was a minor.
Wait. Okay,
And
hold
she
on.
was in a kids
I'm
group.
not. Okay, this is the thing. I'm talking about the current New York case. You're talking.
But
You
just
guys.
said,
So
no,
what you're
you
doing
just
is
said
you're putting him on trial already and convicting him before he's even had a trial. And I'm not with that.
There are so many predators that don't even
One
go to
second.
trial.
Pause you two. Henny Hand wants to speak, and then we also have Boel who will go next. Henny Hand, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Nick, for allowing me on your channel. I just want to ask them ladies a questions, not guys owner. But is anybody, going against Dame Dash, Jay-Z, shoot, who else was Aaliyah with? Genuine.
Thank you. Thank you. They ain't saying nothing about them.
Well, I
Nothing.
don't hear nobody muting them or
Thank you.
them going to getting 30 years for, the case at hand here, regardless how anybody looks at it. Number one, Jane Doe, which was AC, parents, her mother told her what to do. There's circumstances there for them parents. That's not right.
Thank you.
I just don't like the deflection. It's just like, oh, well, why not go after this person or that person? Like, that's just deflecting. Like, yeah, they maybe probably did wrong stuff too, but we're talking about R. Kelly right now.
Okay, so
and he's a predator.
How is he a predator? Anybody?
Oh my God!
It's got to be under the age of 13 to be a predator.
What?
I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
A pedophile. I'm sorry. My fault. Wrong word.
Yeah, please don't even bring that word up because they love that word. But
Pause, you guys. Let's go to Boel.
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. For the lady that was defending R. Kelly, the issue with what you're saying is there is some truth in what you're saying, but you're also twisting what the facts are in order to fit your narrative. That does not make it true just because you twist it up.
What did I twist up? What fact did I twist up?
The thing involving Aaliyah is the fact that he bribed a state employee to create an identification card for her when she was 15 so that he could marry her.
That's a lie.
That is in the court
mediate, right?
He didn't bribe an.
That's a lie. You don't know the case.
Because
that was
he
Demetrius
believed.
Smith.
No, this is in the documents.
No, it's not.
Hey,
that
one second.
You were
Hey,
saying
one second. Because we got a lot of people listening, and they want. Hold on one second, sweetheart. Let one person talk at a time because we all sitting here listening. It's a lot of us listening.
It's my time now to talk. If I can talk.
Go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the racketeering issues, especially the ones that happened in New York, what he's doing is he's calling women from different states or getting people to call women from different states. And he was spreading STDs to them, which is illegal. You were not notifying them of your STD status and you're giving them, this was not one, this was not two, this was multiple women in different states. Okay, so he's committing all these different crimes and you're acting like everything's okay. It's not okay. It's illegal. Everything I mentioned so far, which is just 2, is illegal. And
okay, let me respond,
another person
please.
mentioned, okay, just really quickly, last thing, another person mentioned people are willing to partake in these illegal acts with him. Just because people are willing to do illegal things with you does not absolve you from a crime. R. Kelly should know better and he should do better.
Okay, let me respond to you because I just want to respond, then I'm going to leave.
You got it. Go ahead.
Okay, you don't know the case, ma'am. Okay, so if you knew the case, then you would know that he was charged with failure to disclose. Okay, them having herpes or not having herpes is not a factor.
He was charged
Okay,
racketeering
wait,
Act 1 of
sorry.
bribery.
I'm talking. I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, but it's there in facts. Everyone can look it up.
Okay, so it's failure to disclose. So them having herpes and not having it, that isn't a factor because they were not tested. They don't know if they had herpes prior to that. Okay,
You can't
so
make
that's
up
what
the
I'm saying.
facts,
You have to
ma'am.
know the case. That's not the factor. You don't know if they gave it to him.
Everybody can go right now and look it up.
Please? Can I finish,
Okay.
please?
Okay.
You don't know if they came to the relationship with it. You don't know if they had it prior to that or gave it to him. That wasn't the charge. The charge was failure to failure to let them know that he has a communicable disease. That's what the charge was. And
Okay,
then
you're
we got
making up these charges. The charges are written down. Everyone can go look
Oh
it up
my
and
God.
see. I'm looking at the
Wait,
charges
you
now.
said
None of them
something else.
mention what you mentioned.
The first thing you said was, which was incorrect. You said,
"Are you kidding me?"
What's the first thing you said? You said something about
He was charged. He was convicted in New York with racketeering Act 1 of bribery. Kelly was
no. Oh, that's what
convicted
you
of
said.
bribing
Okay,
a
wait.
state employee.
Let me respond, please. That was Demetrius Smith. R. Kelly did not go into
That is
any
not what the
aid office
documents
to.
say.
No, that's not what
That's
they
not what
say.
the court documents say. Everyone go look it up if you don't believe me.
Sorry.
Transcript.
Hey, let me get back on track
Smith.
for 1 second. Excuse me, ladies, just for 1 quick second. This is how I feel about it. I heard a lot of things said, but I just want to drop this real quick. I believe that the poster child for railroading black people is just us ourselves. We've been getting railroad way before slavery. What happened to the little young man, Tillman, back in the day for looking at a white woman. We got Jeff Ford sitting in up there in Colorado in prison. We got the old man from Chicago sitting up there in prison. We got so many people that been railroaded. You get what I'm saying? But in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, this is just my opinion. It's bigger things going on than these celebrities like R. Kelly and looking so deep into how they possibly was railroaded for doing some things they was doing behind their lust, right? It's people been in jail 20, 30 years, like Larry Hoover been in jail 49 years. I just want to know, do y'all go on any of these channels and dig off in these cases and say, hey, the brother's being done wrong? You know what I'm saying? The brother went to jail for the littlest thing possible and been in jail 49 years because they wanted him off the street. I don't want to segue that way, but I'm just showing you R. Kelly is not the poster child for railroading black men. They've been railroaded. It's just our people, sometimes we get so hypnotized by material things and getting the bag and fame. That's where we send our attention to. So when something happened to one of our beloved stars, it's just so hard to believe. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying he did it or he didn't do it, but I heard a lot of the word speculation used. Once you are convicted of a crime, as far as in the penal system, it's not speculatory no more. It's a fact. It's a criminal fact that you was convicted on whatever you were convicted for, right? And just to move a little bit past that, I think that when we all are saying our opinion, we shouldn't probably be so aggressive. You know why? Because it's all speculation on our part.
No.
I ain't never spent a day with R. Kelly to see a clown.
Everybody can do their research. Everyone can do their research and find the facts of the case.
Hold on a second, sweetheart.
Are there innocent people in prison, sir? Can I ask you that? Are there innocent people in prison?
Just because somebody get convicted doesn't make them guilty of anything.
That's what I'm saying. But
you guys can ignore 55 convictions if you want. You can ignore all the convictions.
No, I want him to answer that question.
Then you
Well,
got
let me say this.
You got
Let me say this.
that was coercing their child to be with this man, but y'all
Hey,
don't want to hold
do me a
them
favor and mute everybody. I got a point to make.
accountable. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Mute everybody, Nick. Now, what I'm saying is, it's not really up for debate because it's my opinion. Just like when you said your opinion, I just quietly listened and I respected it until it was my time to respond. And I think that's the respect we got to start off with just as human beings. I don't care if you're black or white or whatever you are, but us all being of the same culture, we should have that respect for each other. In the middle of me making a point, why would you ask me a question that would derail what I'm talking about? I'm gonna still answer your question, which is kind of like a 2-year-old kid can answer that, sweetheart. You can assume that there are innocent people in jail. But what I'm trying to say is, and what my point is, why is R. Kelly such a big deal? When you got people like Larry Hoover, you got people like Jeff Ford, you know what I'm saying? You got all kind of people, in my opinion, that are political prisoners. So we making this big deal and trying to break down all of the stuff this man did in the name of lust and why he's not guilty or why he is guilty. All I'm saying is this. We are speculating. Just like the young lady is saying, well, this is a transcript, or this is a court document, or this and that. How you think innocent people go to jail? Off false court documents, off shady cops, of bad prosecutors. So even when you look at paperwork, it's still speculation. I'll give you a better example. Okay, everybody always talk about God and Jesus when they reference the Bible, right? But tell me, what did God himself personally write in the Bible? So basically, we're going off Paul, Peter, John. We're going off of all their accounts of what God said, right? So that's the same thing we're doing with R. Kelly. We're going off of all the allegations that they said from the prosecutor side, right? But they can't be all facts because there wouldn't be nobody trying to defend them. The defendant came with what they felt was facts, right? The court rendered a judgment of guilty, 30 years, right? Now, we can debate all day long. And once again, there's a million people in jail that ain't supposed to be there. But there's probably more that's supposed to be there. So all I'm saying is this. There are way more important issues in the world to dig your nose in. If you that passionate about finding out somebody's interpersonal business and you want to save somebody.
Can I respond?
It's some people that really need saving.
Please let me just respond, because I gotta go. Please
real
let me
quick?
respond to
I
him.
just got
Please
on
let
the
me
phone.
respond to him, then
Can I
I'm gonna go.
respond?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, let me respond first.
Go
You
ahead.
know what, young man, you're funny and you're a joke. Okay, I'm from Chicago. So when you talk about Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover, that's my city. But you are talking about people who are also within real racketeering cases, and they are known for conspiring, selling drugs, and murders. Okay, that was found in the case. Okay, so and please understand this. It's not about him being in lust. We're fighting for Kel's injustice. Okay?
No, you are.
Now,
we are.
Right. Well, I'm fighting for his injustice. Okay.
That's good for
So
you.
my
But I'm
thing
gonna tell
is
you one thing though.
But
Your
wait, I
words
didn't
need a better
interrupt
dress code.
you.
Your
But
words need a better dress code.
let me speak. Hey, let me speak real quick. Why isn't R. Kelly any important than Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford? Why?
Thank
Why
you.
does his
And you from Chicago.
They bought all three of them from Chicago.
No, I'm saying she said she from Chicago.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying, how can you set aside R. Kelly and put Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover over him? Well, they're all three in the same predicament. That's not fair. You can't do that, my brother.
Okay, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I said what I said.
R. Kelly, and you got to fight for Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover.
Correct.
Well, that's what I was doing. No, listen what I'm saying, bro. Listen what I'm saying, bro.
He got
That's what I'm saying. What I was doing.
So they saying that all this stuff happened for 30 years now, and one man is on fucking trial. Get for real, man. Where the co-defendants at? Where the parents at? Who are these minors that signed all these non-disclosure agreements? Why they ain't had been accountable? Y'all want to just hold one man accountable for some shit that happened 30 years ago. And if he did do it, it took more than one person to do it. I'm not falling for it.
But wait,
bro, let me tell you this, bro. Let me tell you this.
This is the problem. He's a man that said we can assume that there are innocent people in prison.
Let him respond, and then we're about to wrap this live. So there's one more person who has not spoken, or two more people who haven't spoke yet. So we have Smooth G who hasn't spoke, and then we have somebody with the name Free R. Kelly that hasn't spoke. So we're gonna try to move this along because we're already reaching the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to be here all day. So Little Mac, say your final words, and then we're gonna go to Smooth G.
Okay, Nick, can I say one last thing too after her?
No, I was just saying though. I was responding to the brother. I was saying Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford lives matter just as much as R. Kelly life. You can't do him like that, man. Y'all just going off what the media is saying. Like, we followed this man's trial, and that man did not get a fair trial all the way up to the time he was convicted. And I'm done, man. It's like with black people, y'all just so blind off what the lifetime and all that. Y'all don't see through the nonsense that.
Hey, can I ask you a question, brother? Can I ask you a question, brother?
Go ahead.
This black man to black man, right?
Go ahead.
Can we disagree, right? Without being disrespectful, without thinking you better than me or I'm better than you, because we got a different opinion.
Disrespectful, but I'm passionate about this topic, man, and I feel like that man got railroaded today.
Okay, I feel you. Now stay on. Don't cut him off, Nick, because I want to say this real quick. Okay, you asked me a question, bro. You said R. Kelly is just like Jeff Ford and just like Larry Hoover. I totally disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. I put Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford in the category of the Black Panthers. They had school programs. They was doing stuff for the community. they was enlightening black women and black men on the being queens and being
Well,
kings.
R.
Hold
Kelly
on,
did a
brother,
lot
don't
for
interrupt
the
me, bro.
community too.
Come on, bro.
So you acting like R. Kelly didn't, know what I'm saying, did
Come on,
none
bro. Why
right
you
for
want to
him like
interrupt me,
that.
bro?
Come
All
on,
right, can I get a chance to go? I was going to say some
All right,
real stuff.
move G go because he hasn't
Yeah.
spoken yet.
And this my thing, man, because y'all kind of like talking in circles everywhere. I understood what the young lady said when she was saying how they twist the laws and they can hurt black people, because that's very true. But at the same time, she said Larry Hoover was caught. He had drugs or something. That's not true either. They
That
all
ain't
got,
true, man. That ain't
you
even
know.
true.
But
They put all that on Larry Hoover once he was in jail.
Right. But my main point is this: though, if you getting all your information from Lifetime and Me Too, you a fool. You're a fool, man, and you don't even see the assignment. You don't even see the agenda. You
Facts.
gotta pay attention to see what's really going on, man. And I never even heard R. Kelly said, but it ain't even about R. Kelly. It's about them changing laws so they can do the same thing to the next black man with the innocent. I don't know if he innocent or not, but with them changing laws, they don't do that to the white supremacists. All these white supremacists out there raping all these kids and acting. They got all these sex things going on, raping all these kids. They ain't pulling up all the white people, you know. They ain't pulling up all the white people that is around it, you know. So you got to really pay attention to what's going on and stop just listening to the news and Lifetime and all that, and pay attention to the agenda and stay on code, man.
Hey, you want me to tell you something? I'm going to tell you what happened to Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover. What happened to them was they didn't look up to the